And welcome back. It's the 2nd of August, high five a day, and let's just jump straight to the first one. Okay, what do we have? The width of a rectangle. So we've got a rectangle, quick read through. Right, if you watched any of my other videos, you'll know straight away I'm not a fan of bounds, but this is a bounds question. So it tells me the width is 50 centimeters, and I know that 50 centimeters is correct to 2 sig fig. And I'm going to have to squeeze it up here. So my width to 2 sig fig above is 51. The second sig fig below is 49. So in other words, I know this is 49.5 to 50.5. In other words, halfway between here and here. The length is 115 to 3 sig fig. So the third sig fig above is 116. The third sig fig below is 114, which means I know my length, which weirdly is shorter, but doesn't matter, it's only a diagram, is going to be 114.5 to 115.5, not 6, 115.5. Then it says calculate the lower bound. Now, because I just wanted a low bound, I didn't actually need to do the upper bounds, but they're there anyway, kind of good practice just to get used to doing it. So either way, the lower bound of my area, so AL for lower bound, is going to be the smallest length, 49.5, times the smallest width, which is 114.5, calculator out, and that gives me 5667.75. I'm just going to write all of that down. So 5667.75. And let's do the units as well. So everything's in centimeters, so therefore it's centimeters squared. Get used to doing units. It's a good habit, it means you won't forget to do when they matter. Next question. What percentage of a distribution lies between the lowest value and the upper quartile? That's a good question. Now, box plots. A box plot looks something like this. Doesn't matter about how accurate my whiskers are and everything. But the point is, it doesn't matter how long they are relatively. It is always the case that that's 25%. That's 25%, and that's 25%, which means to go from the lowest value all the way to the upper quartile, which is here, is going to be 25 plus 25 plus 25, which is 75%. Good question. Next one. Find the coordinates. Now, straight away, the word here is coordinates, not x value or y value, but the coordinates. So I need a coordinate as an answer, where the straight line 2x is equal to x plus 5. In other words, my y equals my y. Take away x on both sides, that gives me an x. Leave the 5 where it is, which means x equals 5. Using this one here, if x equals 5, that means y equals 10. So my coordinates are 5, 10. Not too bad. Next question. The population of a country increases by X% each year. At the beginning of 2017, the population was this, and then at 2020, it was that. So 3 years later. Okay, let's do it as an equation. So I'm going to get my starting value. Now I'm not going to write these numbers out because it's a bit tedious. I'm going to call this one A and I'm going to call this one B. So I know that A times 1 plus X, because X is already a percentage, to the power of 3, because remember it's 3 years between 2020 and 2017, is equal to B, which means that 1 plus X cubed is equal to B over A, which means that 1 plus x is equal to the cube root of b over a. Now that was all a very long-winded way of saying, let's find the multiplier and cube root it. So if I now do it in my calculator, I'm going to do the cube root of the numbers I don't want to write down. So it's 26999, let's write them properly, 996736, so 996736. And divide all that by 24,123,123. Now, before I put it in my calculator, because that 26,996,730 is a bit of an exact number, I'm guessing my answer is going to be a nice round number. So I put it in my calculator. So a cube root button, so shift and square root gives me the cube root. Use my fraction button, and it's going to be 26996,736 over 2400000, and I get 26 over 25, which is 1.04, which means by comparing, to be clear, by comparing that to that, it means that x must be equal to 4%, or x is equal to 4. You'd be okay with both, but x is equal to 4. Next and final question today. Find the area. Now, this is one of the last things you do, so every now and then I'll have to say this. Quite often this is one of the last chapters taught when you do GCSE, so you may not have seen yet that the area of a triangle, where it's not a right angle triangle, is a half times AB sine C, where that's my A or my B, doesn't matter, and that's my B or my A, doesn't matter, and that's my angle in between. It must be in between. So that's going to be a half times 23. It's all going to be in the calculator. times 21.4 times sine of the angle, which is 102 in my calculator. And that gives me 240.72221245, which I'm going to say is approximately, doesn't give me any accuracy use. I'm going to say 240.7. I mean centimeters, no, I'm not, I mean kilometers, so kilometers squared. And that is it, question done. As ever, good mix of questions today, really sort of testing you understood those different things. Do let me know how they went for you, like, subscribe, see you tomorrow.